I am 85 years old. I was a teacher for 52 years. I shaped thousands of minds, but I forgot to shape my own life. If you are watching this, please stop scrolling, just for a few minutes. What I am about to say may be the most important thing you hear this year. I am not asking for your sympathy. I am asking for your time, because time is the one thing I cannot get back. I sit by the window every morning now. The same window where I once graded papers until midnight. The same window where I told my wife, just give me one more hour. That one more hour became one more year, then one more decade, then a lifetime. I thought I had time. I was wrong. You see, when you spend 52 years standing in front of a classroom, you start to believe something dangerous. You start to believe that purpose is enough. You start to believe that being needed is the same as being loved. You start to believe that if you are giving to the world will give back to you. But the world does not give back, not the way you expect. My students became doctors, engineers, lawyers, mothers, fathers. They sent me letters. They invited me to weddings. They named their children after me. And I was proud, so proud. I thought I had built a legacy. But legacy is a strange word, because while I was building theirs, I was losing mine. I missed my daughter's first steps. I was preparing a lesson plan. I missed my son's school play. I was attending a parent meeting for someone else's child. I missed my own wife's 40th birthday. I had promised a student I would help him with his college essay. I told myself it was noble. I told myself my family would understand. I told myself there would be time later. Later never came. My wife passed away when I was 71. We had been married for 46 years, and I cannot remember the last time I truly looked at her. Not glanced, not nodded, truly looked. Truly listened, truly held her hand without thinking about tomorrow's lecture. She did not die suddenly. She got sick slowly. And even then, even when the doctors warned me, I kept teaching. I kept grading. I kept showing up to that classroom because that classroom needed me. That is what I told myself. But she needed me too. And I did not see it. Or maybe I did not want to see it. Now I want to tell you something, and I need you to listen carefully. Because if you are young, you think this story is about old age. It is not. This story is about the choice you are making right now, today, this week, this year. You think you are building a future, but you may be building a cage. There is something I have not told anyone in 30 years. A secret, a confession that explains why I am sitting here alone, speaking into a camera at the age of 85. A truth so heavy that it took me decades to admit even to myself. I will tell you everything. But first you need to understand how it began, because every regret has a beginning. And mine started on a rainy afternoon in 1968 when I was just 27 years old, standing in an empty classroom when I made a promise that I should never have made. Don't make my mistake, it was October of 1968. I'd been teaching for only 3 years. I was 27 years old, freshly married, with a small apartment, a smaller salary, and a head full of dreams. That afternoon, the rain came down hard against the classroom windows. My students had gone home. The hallways were empty, and my old mentor, Mr. Henderson, walked in. He had taught for 40 years. He was retiring that week. He sat on a desk, looked at me, and said something I have carried with me my whole life. He said, "A teacher is not just a job. It is a vow. These children only get one childhood, one chance. If you are tired, teach anyway. If you are sad, teach anyway. If life pulls you in another direction, choose them. Always choose them." I nodded. I felt something deep inside me, something heavy, something holy. I made him a promise that day. I said, I will never let a student down. Not one, not ever. I did not understand what I was promising. I was 27. I thought promises had no cost. I was wrong. That same night, I came home late. My wife had cooked dinner. She had waited 2 hours. The food was cold. She did not complain. She just smiled and said, "Tell me about your day." And I did, for an hour, about my students, about Mr. Henderson, about my new vow. She listened. She always listened. She had something to tell me too that night. I could see it in her eyes, something important. But I was too full of myself, too excited, too young. I kept talking, and eventually she said, "It can wait." I did not ask what it was. I did not ask the next morning. I forgot. 3 weeks later, she lost the baby. I did not even know she was pregnant. She had wanted to surprise me. She had been waiting for the right moment, and the right moment never came. Because I was always teaching, always grading, always planning. She cried alone in the bathroom for 3 hours that night. I was at the school. I was tutoring a boy named David who was failing math. I remember David's face. I remember the equation we solved. I remember thinking, I'm making a difference. I do not remember holding my wife that night because I did not. When I finally came home, she was already asleep, or pretending to be. I leaned over, kissed her forehead, and whispered, I love you. Then I went to my desk and prepared tomorrow's lesson. That was the first crack, the first invisible crack in my marriage, in my life, in the man I was becoming. But I did not see it as a crack. I saw it as dedication. I saw it as sacrifice. I saw it as proof that I was a good teacher. Years passed. The cracks multiplied. Small ones, quiet ones, a missed anniversary, a forgotten conversation, a child's question I answered with later, a wife who slowly stopped asking me to come home early. She did not leave me. She just stopped expecting me. And I, foolish man that I was, mistook her silence for support. I thought I had time. I thought one day I would slow down. I thought one day I would make it up to her. I thought one day I would be the husband she deserved, the father my children needed. But days became weeks. Weeks became years. The classroom kept calling, and I kept answering. Until one ordinary Tuesday morning, in the autumn of my 58th year, the phone rang. And everything I had built, every lesson, every certificate, every proud parent letter, meant nothing, because what they told me on that phone call is something I have never spoken out loud. Until today, the phone rang at 7:42 in the morning. I was packing my briefcase for school. I almost did not answer it. I picked up on the fourth ring. It was my daughter, my grown daughter who I had not really spoken to in months. Her voice was shaking. She said only 3 words. Dad, come home. I did not understand. I told her I had a class to teach. I had a meeting at 10. I had papers to return. She did not yell. She did not cry. She just said very quietly, Dad, Mom is in the hospital. She has been there for 2 days. 2 days. My wife had been in a hospital bed for 2 days, and I did not know. I do not remember the drive. I do not remember parking the car. I do not remember walking through the lobby. I only remember the moment I stepped into her room. She looked at me, and she smiled. She smiled as if I were the one who had been suffering, as if she needed to comfort me. My daughter was standing in the corner. My son, too, who had flown in from another city. They did not look at me. They could not. The doctor came in. He thought I knew. He started talking about the next phase, about options, about managing the pain. I asked him, what pain? The room fell silent. My wife reached for my hand. She held it weakly, and she whispered the words that broke me. I did not want to disturb your work. 6 months. She had known for 6 months. She had gone to every appointment alone. She had taken every test alone. She had cried alone in waiting rooms, in parking lots, in our own bathroom while I was at school, and she had said nothing because she did not want to disturb my work. I shaped thousands of minds, and I could not even see the woman sleeping next to me, fading for half a year. That was the moment everything broke. I sat down on the floor of that hospital room in my suit, and I cried for the first time in 20 years. Not soft tears, not quiet ones, the kind of crying that comes from somewhere you did not know you had, the kind that scares the people watching. My son knelt beside me. He did not hug me. He just put his hand on my shoulder, and he said something I will never forget. He said, Dad, you taught everyone, but you never taught yourself. You never taught yourself. Those 4 words changed me, slowly, painfully, completely. Because in that instant, I understood the truth that had been hiding behind my whole life. I had not been a great teacher. I had been a coward, a man hiding inside a classroom because the classroom was easier than home, easier than feelings, easier than love, easier than the messy, unpredictable, uncontrollable life that was waiting for me on the other side of the school bell. In a classroom, I was respected. I was needed. I was in control. At home, I was a husband, a father, a flawed, ordinary man. And I did not want to be ordinary. So I ran. For 52 years, I ran, and I called my running dedication. I thought I had built a life. I had only built an escape. I was wrong about everything. But the deepest, darkest truth, the one I have not told you yet, would not arrive until 3 weeks after my wife's funeral, because that is when I found the letter she had written, the letter she had hidden, the letter that told me who she really was, and who I had failed to know. I found the letter in her sewing drawer, folded inside an old book, a book of poetry she had loved when we were young, a book I had teased her for reading. The letter was written in her handwriting, dated 4 months before she died, addressed to no one, or maybe addressed to me, or to herself. I will never know. It began with these words: I do not blame him. I knew who he was when I married him, but I want someone someday to know I was here too. I want someone to know I was here too. I read those words, and I read them again, and I read them 100 times that night, sitting on the edge of our bed, in a house that suddenly felt enormous and empty. She had been a painter. Did you know that? I did not. Not really. She had stopped painting after we got married. She told me once she had stopped. I did not ask why. I was preparing a lesson. In her letter, she described every painting she had imagined but never made. 46 paintings, one for every year of our marriage. Each one had a name. Each one had a meaning. Each one was a piece of her that I had never seen. She had wanted to travel to Italy. She had wanted to take a creative writing class. She had wanted to learn to dance. She had wanted, more than anything, for me to sit with her on the porch one evening and watch the sun go down. Just once, without papers in my lap. She wrote, he gave the world his best. I only ever got the leftovers. And I loved him anyway. She loved me anyway. That sentence ended me. That sentence rebuilt me. That sentence is the reason I am sitting here talking to you today. Because here is the truth I had refused to see for 52 years. The truth I want to give you now, freely, so you do not have to find it in a letter from someone who is already gone. I thought success would make me whole. I was wrong. I thought being needed was the same as being loved. I was wrong. I thought sacrifice was the highest form of devotion. I was wrong. I thought later was a real place. I was wrong. Later is not a place. Later is a lie. Later is the most expensive word in the human language. You see, I taught children for 52 years. I taught them mathematics. I taught them history. I taught them how to write essays and pass examinations and gain admission to fine universities. I taught them everything I knew, but I never taught them the only lesson that mattered. The only lesson that matters. Are you listening? The people in your home are not waiting forever. Your mother is not waiting forever. Your father is not waiting forever. Your wife, your husband, your child, your friend, your own self, they are not waiting forever. Every minute you give to something that does not love you back, you steal from someone who does. I built a career. I should have built a marriage. I built a reputation. I should have built a memory. I built lesson plans. I should have built afternoons. Long, slow afternoons with the people who needed me to do nothing but be there. I shaped thousands of minds. And I never once asked my own wife what she was thinking. Don't make my mistake. There is one final thing I need to tell you. The hardest thing of all. Because if you hear it, your life can still be saved. But if you turn away now, you will become me. Listen to me. Wherever you are right now, whatever screen you are holding, whatever room you are sitting in, listen. You are alive. Right now, right this second. The people you love are still breathing. Their phone numbers still work. Their doors will still open if you knock. That will not be true forever. I am 85 years old. I sit alone in this house every day. The same house she filled with quiet patience for 46 years. Her paintings, the ones she never made, are not on these walls. Her laughter is not in these rooms. Her hand is not in mine. And no medal, no certificate, no thank you letter from a former student fills the chair where she used to sit. I want you to do something for me. Just one thing. After this video ends, pick up your phone. Call the person whose voice you have been meaning to hear. Not text. Call. Hear them. Listen to them breathe on the other end of the line. Tell them you love them. Without explanation. Without occasion. Without waiting for the right moment. Because the right moment is a story we tell ourselves. There is no right moment. There is only this moment, and then there is none. I thought I had time. I was wrong. If you are 20, you think you have decades. You do not. You have today, just today. Multiplied if you are lucky. If you are 30, you think your parents will always be there. They will not. Count the holidays you have left with them. The number is smaller than you imagine, much smaller. If you are 40, you think your children will always need you. They will not. The window in which a small hand reaches for yours closes faster than any year of your life. If you are 50, you think your marriage will survive on autopilot. It will not. Love is not a structure. Love is a daily decision. And decisions you do not make are decisions against the people you love. If you are 60 or 70 or 80 like me, and you are watching this and feeling the same heavy thing in your chest that I feel, it is not too late. Not yet. Not while you are still breathing. Pick up the phone. Open the door. Say the thing. Later never came for me. Don't let it become your story too. I want to leave you with one final image. The image I see every night before I close my eyes. I see myself at 27 years old, standing in that empty classroom in 1968, rain against the windows. And I am whispering to my younger self. I am saying, put down the lesson plan. Go home. She is waiting. The students will be fine. They have their own parents, but she only has you. He cannot hear me. He never will. That young man is gone. And so is the woman who waited for him. But you can still hear me. You are not 85. Not yet. You are sitting in a chair somewhere, and your life is still being written. The pen is still in your hand. So I am asking you, I am begging you, please, do not become the man who shaped thousands of minds and lost the one heart that was given to him to hold. Do not give your best to the world and your leftovers to the people who love you. Do not let your wife write a letter no one will ever answer. Do not wait. I shaped thousands of minds, and I ignored the only one that ever truly belonged to me. Don't make my mistake.